Morning, everyone. Today we will discuss motivation in management by using a case of Boeing. I'm Li Yitong, and here are our group mates. Firstly, I will talk about Boeing history. Then I'll pass the mic to our group mates to discuss question 1, question 2, and question 3. Then finally, we have an engaging activity for you. Boeing Company is one of the famous commercial aircraft manufacturers in the world, which was founded in 1916 in Seattle by a man called William Edward Boeing. The headquarters in Seattle was then moved to Chicago in 2000. Nowadays, Boeing is not only the world's largest aerospace company but also the second largest defense contractor in 2018. In between 1996 to 1997, Boeing integrated with McDonnell Douglas and Rockwell. Boeing bid with numerous aircraft orders. However, the manufacturing schedule did not change the customer's time. Therefore, the operator selected the executive design to shut down Boeing 737 and 747 production lines to control its needs. Ultimately, it suffered a massive loss after Boeing's decision in 1997. Furthermore, Airbus industry manufactures commercial aircraft with a larger size and lower cost, which brings out an imminent threat to Boeing. On the other hand, the Boeing's manufacturing process and operation style had pronounced more than 50 years. It reflected an obvious flaw to Boeing's operation. And at the same time, Boeing announced the aircraft creation process strategy. In 2000, Airbus launched A380, which has a double-deck wide-body with 4 engines. Airbus becomes a strong competitor to Boeing's afterwards. Okay, now I will talk about question 1. The 5 core job characteristics are skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedbacks. In terms of skill variety, it has the degree to which a job requires various activities to carry out the work. The social level criticized Boeing's operator because Boeing management always supposes that its operator with high-level techniques can efficiently process the manufacturing process. Therefore, the collaboration on other groups or among the crews are low and only focus on their unique tasks. Boeing also has low task identity, which is degree which a job requires completion of a whole and identifiable piece of work. As building an aircraft involves many components and parts, every worker should include self-identity in the assembly process, which the worker should see the visible outcome. It is hard to proclaim their responsibility on the designated parts after final outcome promotions. In terms of task significance, the degree to which job has a substantial impact on other people's life or work. Boeing's operators have high loyalty to Boeing, which comprises of working on important and serious job attitude. Also, the airplane becomes an alternative that can let people travel faster. They may think that every small part of the job is also significant in high-quality manufacturing aircraft. If a careless flaw occurred, it may affect people's safety, even lives.
In terms of the low autonomy, it is the degree to which the job gives the individual freedom, independence, and discretion in the scheduling work. For the Boeing work design, the scheduling of work it means the daily maintenance and the installation of the components with the deadline and the procedure given by the company to install and maintain the aircraft. And then that will be the error detection and the correction after accidents happens. And the results in the workers could identify their own abilities and weaknesses to make their own improvements when doing the work. In terms of high feedback from the job, the degree to which job workers' work activities results in the individual achieving a direct and precise report on his performance. Boeing has 3 measures. The first one is that the test report, which can reflect the worker's performance after the work completion. The second one is the voice recorder, which can ensure the pilot's performance. The company can investigate the accident, final causes, and have any punishment or improvements after the examinations. Finally, 5-day accelerated improvement workshop which established by Boeing management level, crews and operators to brainstorm how to do better and efficiently in the working environments and therefore to let the workers could identify their own abilities and weaknesses to make the improvement on their job. To conclude, Boeing's job design has high task significance, high feedback, but low skill variety, low task identity, and low autonomy. So we suggest that Boeing should enrich their job characteristics by forming natural work units, combining tasks, establishing client relationships to enhance task identity and autonomy. And Boeing should enlarge the job of worker in order to enhance the skill variety of the job.
Hello everyone, my name is Chen Kai-sum and I would like to discuss the question 2. So the first challenge Boeing faced was the overwhelmed supply chain. After the merge between McDonnell Douglas and the defense division of Rockwell at late 90s, Boeing has to bear the large production demands of those two companies. The demand raised so high that it goes from producing 18 jets a month to 43 jets a month. This results in a situation that Boeing has to pause its production line on 737 and 747 order for a month. By that, Boeing has received a $1.6 billion charge and $300 million penalties. After that, FAA has increased inspection on the assembly line of Boeing. The second challenge of Boeing would be the rising of its opponent, the Airbus. In 1998, 4 European countries agreed to a merger of the consortium to make Airbus industry to eliminate inefficient assembly methods and make the company more competitive with Boeing. After that, Airbus got over 30% of the global market share. Meanwhile, the delay of production and high cost of overhead structure became Boeing's largest disadvantage in the game. The last challenge of Boeing would be its already overcomplicated system. Since 1940s, the system has become more and more complex and it produced excess paperwork and decreased the efficiency of the production. For example, customers were allowed to choose from 4 bulkhead options of the plane, which would result in repositioning of the parts and the modification of drawings. Even though the computer could help to keep track with those data, every factory has its own computer system and parts are combined by 400 different databases. This kind of messy structure hindered the production speed of Boeing. In order to tackle those challenges, Boeing has implemented several strategies. The first one would be to hire and train 41,000 workers. In order to deal with increasing service and production demands, Boeing definitely needs more manpower to maintain a high-intensity assembly line. The second solution is that Boeing has created a special project team called the Aircraft Creation Process Strategy, aka ACPS. The main focus, generally speaking, is to improve the production line to become faster, better, and cheaper. And at last, to solve the problem caused by the messy system, ACPS aims to improve this system by implementing the reuse of existing components and reducing parts count with integrated monolithic structures. Meanwhile, the option of the aircraft customization is limited to only for interior and paint application.
Thank you, Patrick. Hi everyone, I'm Chen Yan and I'm going to introduce the goal of the ACPS first. The goal of the ACPS are simple, not only to reduce the production time for an aircraft from 16 months to 12 months, but also to reduce the cost of production of an aircraft from 6.5 billion USD to 1 billion USD. To achieve their goal, Boeing has implemented a lot of changes into the Boeing company structure. The very first one I want to introduce to all of you, and also the most important one, is to simplify the design and the production. At the past, Boeing used to provide a lot of customization for the consumer. For instance, there are 4 bulkhead options which will affect the position of 2,500 parts, and many different customized parts and also the customized computer system is needed for the customization requirement. But for now, Boeing has cut a lot of customization options and provide discount for the customer to compensate the loss of the customization options. And also, they are trying to reuse of existing parts and use reduction part count with integrated monolithic structure, which means they can use similar parts instead of different customized parts. And also, they use a more common modular and integrated system. They no longer need to use the different system into different customization requirement. Last but not the least, they have a last stage customization center for interior and paint application. After simplifying the design and the production, Boeing can not only decrease the time for production, but also to decrease the cost of production of an aircraft. The second change that Boeing has made is to identify fields of unnecessary inventory. In the past, Boeing used to turn their stock only 2 to 3 times a year, which is very unhealthy to a company since they have less free cash flow to grab the future opportunities or convince the investor to invest more money into the Boeing. But after they have get the suggestion from the Yoshiki Iwata, a runner of the consulting firm, he suggests that Boeing should turn their stock 12 times a year in order to free up some cash flow. The results are quite good since it can increase the free cash flow by $6 billion USD a year. The third changes that Boeing has made is to improve the tool use. In the past, Boeing used to provide a strict ladder for the workers to work on an airplane. But the problem of the strict ladder is the closer the worker got to the top of the ladder, the farther away he has to stretch to reach the fuselage. Yoshiki Iwata suggests that an upside-down shaped ladder should be used instead of a strict ladder, since if you got to the top, closer to the top of the ladder, you won't get farther away so as to help the worker easier to work. From the case of the ladder, we can realize that a good tool can definitely help the worker to work easier, and it can increase the working efficiency of the worker so as to decrease the total production time of an aircraft. The last changes that Boeing has made is to provide training for the employee. Boeing provides 5-day accelerated improvement workshops. In the workshop, they will brainstorm with the employees on how to do their job more efficiently. The workshop aims to increase the working efficiency so as to decrease the total production time for an aircraft.
My partner to discuss the environmental conditions assist or hinder Boeing attempts to restructure its workforce. And first, my part will be explained. Environmental conditions consist of macro environments, micro environments, and task environments. Macro environments refers to the economic factor, political factor, social factor, technological factor. And micro environments refer to industry, competition, new entrants, selective products, bargaining power of suppliers, and bargaining power of buyers. Task environments refers to employees, suppliers, customers, and competitors. This part already declares what is PES analysis. PES consists political, economic, social, and technological. Political factor refers to a government policy and change in legislation. For economic factor, supply and demand, economic growth, and inflation, and recession consist. For social component, it's about demographics and age distribution, cultural attitudes, and workplace and lifestyle trends. The technology factor is related to the role and development of technologies in the organization, changing technology, and broader technology use. In the case of Boeing, for political factor, no penalties for improper paperwork, and no crucial policy is announced to help Boeing, so the stance is neutral. For economic factor, US GDP per capita had been increasing from 1960 to 1998. More people can afford the price for air travel, and the air company provide more seats for the customer, so the demand is increasing, so also is favorable in the economic factor. For social factor, the fatal airline accidents per 1 million flights have been decreasing from 1977 to 1998. The public had eased its concern about air aviation safety. Some dads refused to air travel due to safety problems before can air travel now. The demand for air travel therefore was an increase. It's also favorable. For technology factor, the technology that Boeing used did not keep up with the time. Its engineering, manufacturing, and parts procurement system is used to produce B-17 and B-29 bombers in the 1940s. Low efficiency has results, and hence is unfavorable.
Thank you, Anson. I'm Chen Kim-on, responsible for the remaining part of question 3. As we said before, the microenvironment of Boeing consists of industry competition, new entrants, substitute products, and bargaining power of buyers, as well as bargaining power of suppliers. The theory behind that is Porter's model of 5 strategic forces used to evaluate an industry in terms of its competition intensity, attractiveness, and profitability. Let's talk about these elements. Since there were few strong competitors in aircraft industry, the rivalry among competitive firms was weak, so it is favorable in terms of industry competition. Apart from that, aircraft industry require high technology and high investment costs. Such great barrier led to low set of new potential competitors. It is also favorable in terms of new entrants. In addition, there is no such high-speed substitute for long-distance overseas travel, while some substitute for domestic travel, such as train, subway, provide a safe and high-speed travel on land, so it is neutral. While demand for raw materials greater than raw material supply resulted in high bargaining power, it is unfavorable. On the other hand, aircraft supply cannot cover the demand for aircraft, resulting in low bargaining power. It is favorable. The task environment we introduced before is actually stakeholders around Boeing shown below. I will talk about them one by one. In terms of employees, the concern about unemployment and ability to adapt new positions will appear in employees, affecting their efficiency at work. It is unfavorable. In terms of suppliers, the financial crisis happened to Boeing in 1997 makes suppliers consider that Boeing can't settle the payment. Orders from Boeing may be rejected. In terms of customers, the airlines always prefer enormous size and lower price aircraft for loading more passengers, while Boeing could not offer this kind of aircraft. So this is unfavorable. In terms of competitor, Boeing's production delay and costly overhead structure make it hard to compete with Airbus that become increasingly strong. So it is also unfavorable. To sum up, since the number of unfavorable environmental factors is greater than the counterpart of favorable environmental factors, it do assist Boeing's attempt to restructure its workforce.